इस वीडियो को लाइक करें, हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर बेल आइकन जरूर प्रेस करें।
Welcome friends. In this video, I will be covering a quick overview of this course. In this course, we will learn ethical hacking. Ethical hacking is a type of hacking which we will study in upcoming lessons. We will be learning about different type of hackers, different type of attacks, and prevention from those attacks in this series. Let me cover some disclaimers. We are providing this information for educational purpose only. After completing this course, you may not use the knowledge you acquire from here to cause harm to any individual or governed body. If you do so, we are not liable for any actions that are taken against you. Warning: you may not try this with any public network or internet, because if you are found guilty for causing any harm to any individual, government, corporate body, non-profits, etc., you will be sued with very serious charges of cybercrime. We recommend you to practice these lessons in this course on your own system, with your own data, in your own private or local network. So this was the quick overview, and from the very next tutorial we will be starting with ethical hacking. Thank you. Welcome friends. In this tutorial we will be learning about SQL injection. SQL injection is an attack which is performed by someone who is exploiting the SQL vulnerability. In this tutorial we will be using MySQL as our database and PHP scripting language. As you have already seen the AMP course, here I have installed WAMP server, which you can learn from our AMP course. Now let's go to our localhost, which is our web server homepage, and navigate to Phpmyadmin. Now Phpmyadmin is a database management utility for our MySQL database, which comes along with WAMP server. Here you can see one database test. In this database we have one table called users, where we have one row, this admin and password. Now let's go to our SQL injection example page, which is this page. So this page is basically a login page which checks whether the username and password you enter here is valid and registered here or not. So it should be checking whether the username is equal to admin and the password is equal to password or not. So let's try admin and password. When I click login, it says correct login. For debug purpose, I have made this login script to print the complete SQL statement. As you can see, it is select count uname from users, where uname is equal to admin, which we have entered here, and pass is equal to password, which we have entered here. So it takes this and this value from our input, and when we click login, it go to the database and check whether it is correct or not. Now let me give a wrong username and password. Let's say admin, and in password let me write any incorrect password and click on login. So here it says invalid login, because I have given the username admin but I have given password as incorrect. So it checks that whether these pair is matching or not. To learn this tutorial and to get the concept of SQL injection, you must be familiar with this SQL statement. So for that you can go ahead and check our SQL tutorials on MySQL, MS SQL or Oracle. So this is how our system works, and from the very next tutorial I will be showing you how we can inject our SQL query and we can log in without knowing the correct password. Thank you. Welcome friends. We are continuing from our previous tutorial of SQL injection. In our previous tutorial I have explained you how our login system works. To learn SQL injection in depth, you must have the knowledge of SQL queries. Here is one, and if you don't know SQL queries, you can always go ahead and check our courses on MySQL, MS SQL and Oracle. Let's move forward. Now let me do a trick for you so that you will come to know what is SQL
लाइक कर
injection.
दीजिएगा और
Instead
चैनल
of
को
giving
सब्सक्राइब
a
कर
correct
लीजिएगा।
username, I am typing admin quote space 2 hyphens and space. And what this does is very interesting, which we will cover in just a few minutes. But for now, just remember that we have written our correct username, quote, space, 2 hyphens and space. And in the place of password, we can write down any password. Doesn't matter really that it is correct or incorrect. And let's click on login. Now this is something which should not happen. It says correct login, but the login is actually not correct because our password is wrong pass. So how this happened? You can see the actual SQL query is select count uname from users where uname is equal to admin. Now up to this our query works very fine, which checks the username is equal to admin or not. But what we have entered is this extra part. Now what this part does is it is actually completing this quote. So that means these both quotes are done. After a space we have entered 2 hyphen and then a space. 2 hyphen followed by space is interpreted as comment. So our SQL statement is actually this, and all this rest of the part is interpreted as comment. So our database doesn't really look at this and it just check if the username is equal to admin or not. So in this way, if you know the correct username, you can log in into system without knowing the correct password. This is the example of our SQL injection, and if you search on internet, you'll find multiple ways of injecting such SQL commands into the login forms. In our next tutorial, we will learn how we can prevent from such SQL injections. Thank you.